Episode 3 of my breakdown series. This time we delving into the lyrical career of Killer Cam, aka Cameron, aka Flea. I appreciate all the love from the Kendrick breakdown, 108K on Twitter, 22K on IG, 14K on TikTok, 5K on YouTube. I appreciate the support. Cameron has been rhyming for 30 years as of this year. And frankly, we need to celebrate our Grandmaster lyricists better. And I hope this can be the start to that. In these 30 years, there are 10 different variations of Cam's writing style, which as an MC is absolutely insane. We're going to break it down from the beginning to 2025, right? Children of the Corn. From 1995 to about 96, Cam was running with Big L, R.I.P., Bloodshed, R.I.P., Murder Mace, McGruff. First time we ever heard Cam, he is using a style that was popular from 92 to 95. His multisyllabic style that the Children of the Corn had was there, but the delivery was lingering from that time period. I jack with bats, gats, and black max, right? That delivery at the end you can hear distinctively. This was his debut and low-key the last time he used this style again from my research. He might have did it once or twice with some old Children of the Corn songs, but for the most part, we only got this style from him very minimally. And that speaks volumes as we go into the next era, which is the Freestyle Era with Cardan. From 96 to about early 98, Cam had finally moved into a super lyrical space, going on radio stations with 14-year-old Cardan. What up, Cardi? He moved away from the delivery he had on the Children of the Corn tapes and features. And one thing about Cam, he kept his multis going for 30 years. He changed up how he approached records and albums. And I feel that gets overlooked with Cam a lot, especially after Come Home With Me. And we'll get to that later, but the aggression was here. Lyrically, he was there. He had to keep up with a rising Mace, Ayo, and a young Cardan, and they was harassing Clue and other mixtapes during this time. I went from stashing in the socks to rapping on your box. Now when I get my jewels, it's platinum on the rocks. If I catch one of y'all chatting with the cops, even more reason to get splashed with the ox. Rap, with the gat, with the cop. All of that's 5-syllable multi, 4-syllable multi. He was dead ass, forced to be reckoned with. And at this time, Mace had him around for Biggie, and he got to deal with and he moved into the next phase of his lyricism. Confessions of Fire. From 98 to early 99, Cam was still lyrical, but he went to an insane creative bag, which honestly, he ain't tackled since. I think that the fact that he got it out the way is the reason he never went back to it. Writing-wise, he was better than ever. 357 and Pull It had Flex losing his mind in 9-7. I'm still mad Aretha ain't clear that sample, Flea. That was nasty work. He went back and forth with a Prime DMX. Like, come on. The nigga was like, the nigga said, take it off, run it all. I ain't even begun the ball. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Clean still stacking. If the fiend still lacking. You the same one crying for that Billie Jean jacket? Like, he was going crazy. And when you telling me you can't rhyme multis and stories, listen to Cam on this project. Wrong Ones, talking about a girl he was dating. Death, his conversation with the Grim Reaper, and he thought he was going to die at that moment. First time we heard Jim Jones rap, and he had his mom's rapping on the album. R.I.P., the Mama Love. D. Ruggs and how it took over someone he knew. Confessions, which was before Eminem, and he was wilding out. Me and My Boo with Charlie Baltimore. All of these are concept joints, and he kept up his lyricism on every single record. He made his mark. But even with that, this nigga right here only got better. And this is the SDE era. Now, this era is where folks started saying, wait a minute, Cam ain't to be played with. He got on the Clue tape on his album and went ballistic on that joint. He dropped like 50 bars. And I think a lot of it came from the singles he dropped that people was like, yo, he was wilding with the MCs of that time. Prodigy, Dutch and Spade. They pushed his pen to really go into the dark waters. Imagine me wake up 7:30 for work. I'd rather run the streets 7:30 with work. What? I'ma serve anybody in your damn family. Your Uncle Tom, your Aunt Tammy, your grandmammy, understand me. All of that, like, he was wilding, cooking on the whole track. The beauty of this era of Cam, I feel that Cam always felt that he was the best, and he had MCs around him that were young and hungry and kept him young and hungry. Jewel's linked with Cam during this era, and they did the same thing that they did, pause, when he linked with Cardan, terrorizing freestyle platforms, hollow tips, melt you like candle wax, fiends disrespecting, asking where the samples at, eyes low, I was stupid offended, dealt with more keys than your superintendent, every other week a different coupe and I rimmed it, chain 60 inches, hula hoop with my pet, what? Come on, man. And he was building the Dipset brand with his new artist, and Jimmy was right with him touching up his rhymes. And then this is when they was ready to flood the streets with Come Home With Me. Now, this is the perfect blend of his lyricism, his mainstream appeal, and his songwriting. First two projects, freestyles, features, and mixtapes brung him here. Still working with top tier MCs and giving them headaches. But he ain't as wordy on this album. He's more poignant and assertive with what he chooses to say. Go ahead, stupid nigga, go fuck with them chicks. It's the third little piggy. I don't fuck with the bricks. Better yet, the bakery. I got pies and cakes. Niggas think doubling is turning 5 to 8. That's fire. His delivery super laid back. He honestly realizes who he was this whole time and essentially leans into it. And then on the Diplomat album, which was really a Jewel showcase, Cam showed up and dominated. Also, the words he's choosing to rhyme with a lot of MCs weren't using. Daddy Warbucks, and this is the beginning of what he said in a New York Times article. I remember the beginning of mesmerizing nonsensical rhymes. Lock my garage, rock my massage, bucket. By Oshkosh, Bagage, golly, I'm gully. Look at my galoshes. He's using words MCs weren't using at this time, which transferred into what pretty much casual fans of Cameron think he is as a lyricist, not knowing everything that he had done previously. Like, Cam be bugging out, you know what I'm saying? But this is where they kind of put Cameron in this particular era, the Purple Haze era. And this is where they tried to start making fun of my man. But they do it now, not then, right? Because of Get 'em Girls, right? I keep the boosters boosting. I keep computers puting, right? Like, that piece right there is what niggas try to frame this nigga as, and he's done way more wilder shit. He had them holy moly, roly-poly secrets in there too, but he was also rhyming Prime Minister with Heinz vinegar, right? He was still cooking. He would fuel the fire rhyming with Laffy Taffy, but even with Cam rhyming and writing like that, it was still top tier. And to me, it showcased how much Cam was probably just coasting, and he needed new, younger Harlem energy to reignite his pen, because like he was just, it was easy to him. Like, to me, like, he's so nice. It was just like, I could say whatever, niggas gonna fuck with it. And then we got to the Killer Season Crime Pays era. Cam's still cooking. His pen still ain't lacking. Get It in Ohio, Touch It or Not, Wet Wipe, still ringing off to this day. Low key, that Wayne verse, it was damn near was the beginning of his ascension. But that's another talk for another day. One thing about Cam, he ain't going to lack on the syllable count. The content is going to vary because he does different things with his music, but the pen, still wild. And he showcases that on both of these projects, Killer Season and Crime Pays. Then he links with my guy, my bro, Vado, right? Now, when he starts working with my guy, Vado, this another young artist out of Harlem. Shout out to my guy Vado. And they do mixtapes and projects together. Shout to Drama. And Cam Penn is still going crazy. I'm not sure if y'all know what it takes to be this consistent for this long, bro. Like, that's not easy, bro. Lyrically, he was wilding from Killer Season to this point. He got to keep up with Vado, who was hungry. And to me, this is why I believe Cam his pen has stood the test of time. He cultivated newer artists and used them as a litmus test against his own skill set to make sure he was still hungry and could get on tracks and still go off. He had 40 Cal, J.R. Ryder. He even had Charlie Clips with him at some point. You know what I'm saying? He was bringing in all Harlem niggas and putting Harlem on. Like, he looked out for Harlem for real, B. Then we getting into 2020, right? 2020 on, Cam took on a completely different style. Purple Haze 2, you wasn't there, and it is what it is, right? Cam is older now, and the maturity in his flow is prevalent in his tone on Purple Haze 2, and you wasn't there. He's still going off, but you can tell he's even more calmer and more mature than he was on Come Home With Me. Like, you can hear it in his tone. You know what I'm saying? In his tone, you can hear it. And it is what it is, in my opinion, is Cam showing us he still got it when it's necessary to showcase the skills. This man kicks freestyles to address what needs to be addressed effortlessly. And the same fundamentals he picked up with Children of the Corn are being used 30 years later. Now, listen, I'm going to go off script real quick. You know, I'm from the Bronx, but I was born in Harlem. You know, I was born in Foster Projects, 21 West, 112th Street, 11 J&K. They knocked the wall out. We was in there. We had the dual apartment joints. I was around when he shot the Let Me Know video right in Foster. You know what I'm saying? And my first apartment, 132nd, and Lennox. I remember going to 129th to the Africans and getting all the Diplomat CDs. And I studied Cam. You know what I'm saying? I thought Cam was one of the best. You know what I'm saying? I felt like lyrically, especially on Confessions of Fire, like that inspired me to do storytelling rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Because he was doing shit that nobody was doing at that time. Like, yeah, we had Nas doing like storytelling stuff, but he was like, the way he was doing it, it was not only was it comical, but it was lyrically like top tier, like still making sure the multis was there. And that's why when people say like you can't do it at that level, you got to look at somebody like Cam who's been doing it for 30 years and still cooking. So I want to give a big shout out to you, Killer. Keep cooking, bro. I hope that you see this and appreciate the love that I put into this. Listen to about 2 days worth of material, you know what I'm saying, to put this together. I just hope, people that are fans like me will see, Cam for what he is and what he's done and what he's given to the hip-hop culture. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that at some point we could have him come to Pendulum Inc., you know what I'm saying, and dive even deeper, pause into his lyricism. I think that'd be great. I did the best that I could with what I know, but I think it's better to hear from, you know what I'm saying, my guy Killer. So with that being said, man, long live lyricism, sign at the Pendulum Inc. And let me know down below what you think about Cam'ron as a lyricist after hearing all of this. This is for the people that didn't know, the people that do love him from that perspective. And also, sign up, man. And let me know below who y'all want me to break down skill set wise moving forward. All right? I'll catch y'all on the next one.